we are ready to start our weight training resistance strength building today. So if you are joining us on YouTube, make sure you hit like and subscribe and ring the little bell so you get notified whenever we put up a new video. For our class today, you have the option to use a chair, or if you would prefer to do standing work, you can take the first 3 standing. You will need a mat for floor work for the last 3 exercises in each set. We're going to go ahead and get started with our warm-up then. So we're going to start with just bringing a little movement into our torso, swinging those arms side to side, twisting through your back, making sure everything's loosened up and feeling good today. If everything's feeling good, go ahead and lift your heels, turn a little further, swing a little faster, maybe get that blood flowing a little more. 2 more to each side. And then bring everything back to center. From here, we're going to move into our shoulder rotation. So nice big circles going forward. And then nice big circles going backwards. And then throw your arms in and out across your chest. One arm on top and then the other. Beautiful. From here, we're going to move into our elbows. So nice big elbow circles in one direction. Still just loosening things up, making sure your joints are ready before you start picking up heavy things. Go the other way. And then moving down to your wrists, same thing, circles in one direction. And go the other way. And then squeeze your fingers in and out. Just make sure your hands are nice and awake too. Beautiful. From here, moving on to your lower body. If you're doing a standing warm up, go ahead and step out and do some nice big hip rotations in one direction. And if you're doing the seated version, you're just swinging your knees side to side, loosening up those hips. If you're standing, go the other way. And then bring everything back to center. Moving on to your knees, hands on your knees, bop them back and forth. If you're seated, you're just swinging them in your chair like a little kid, just loosening them up. If you're standing, go ahead and add some circles in one direction. And then circles in the other direction. Beautiful. And then last but not least, your ankles. Pick one foot up, spin it in one direction. And then the other direction. And then switch feet. And go the other way on that foot. All right. From here, we're ready to get started with our workout today. Our first movement is going to be a deadlift with a hammer curl. Now, if you're standing, you're going to have a weight in each hand. You're going to hinge at your hips, kind of push your bottom back, keep your back nice and straight. Go down to whatever is comfortable for you. Come up, hammer curl both hands. If you're doing the seated version, same thing, just scoot to the edge of your chair, hinge forward as far as you comfortably can, and then add that hammer curl in. If you want to leave the back work off altogether, you can just focus on the hammer curl. Pick your variation. We've got 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. The key for this one is to keep a nice flat back when you're doing that lean forward. It's okay to have a nice big bend in your knees. It'll still work the backs of your legs, I promise. You're halfway there already. Nice and slow and controlled on that hammer curl. Go the same speed down that you go up. Beautiful, 15 seconds to go. And time, excellent. All right, next up, we have an alternating side lunge with an overhead press. So for this one, you're gonna rack weights on both shoulders, stepping out to one side, overhead press, back to center, step to the other side, overhead press, back to center. If you're doing the seated version, you're just gonna tap your foot out to one side and then the other, or you can just focus on that alternating overhead press. Pick which one is right for you. We've got 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. There you go. Slow and steady. Make that lunge as deep as is good for you. A shallow lunge is still engaging the muscles, just with less strain on the knee and hip. Halfway there. Beautiful. If you want to add an extra element of work to your upper body, keep those weights floating above your shoulders and out in front a little bit so that the muscles are staying engaged the whole time. Five seconds to go. And time. Set those down, shake your arms out. And then from here, we're going to go down to one weight and we're going to do a press out with a calf raise. So the press out, you're going to hold the weight in the center and just press straight out from your chest. In the side view, you can see I'm going up just a little bit to keep it at about shoulder height. And then while it's out, I'm going to do that calf raise. If you're doing the seated version, same thing. You're going to press out, do a calf raise, and then pull back in. Or you can focus just on the upper body and just do the press out. 1 minute. Here we go. If you find that it's hard to grip the weight this way, you can turn it sideways and do a press out this way as well. It works a little bit differently, more shoulder muscle and less chest, having your hands further apart, but you will still get a good workout. So find a grip that's going to work for you. And just keep moving. You're over halfway there. Almost done. And time. All right, from here, if you're doing the standing workout, this is where you're going to move to the floor. You're going to move into a tabletop position, and we're going to work on our back muscles. Now I'm going down a little bit in weight, down to my 5s for this. We're going to do a back fly, alternating each side. So I'm going to do one side and then the other. Doing it in the tabletop position helps you really isolate the back muscles versus when you're doing it standing where you tend to use more shoulder. So grab your weights, get in position. If you're doing the seated version, you're just going to scooch to the edge of your chair, lean forward, and still do alternating flies from this position. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Remember, as always, to bring it down at the same speed as it goes up. Don't let it fall. Make your muscles work the whole way. And you're not in a true tabletop position because you're resting on your weights, so you're at a little bit of an angle. That's okay. It still helps focus the movement on your back. Halfway done. 30 seconds down, 30 seconds to go. Nice, steady breathing. And time. Beautiful. From here, if you're on the floor, you're going to stay in a kneeling position and you're going to do a wood chop. So we're going to do 30 seconds on one side and then switch and do 30 seconds on the other side. If you're seated, if your knees just don't care for that kneeling position, we're going to do the same thing sitting on the edge of our chair. So grab your weight, get in position, 1 minute. Here we go. Well, same thing on this one. You can adjust your grip depending on what's best for your wrists and your weight. To either grip in the middle, like you're holding an axe, or grip on the ends where your hands are a little further apart. Five seconds till we switch. And switch sides. Looking good, you got it. Almost there, 5 more seconds. And time. All right, last up, you're gonna stay in that kneeling position if you're doing floor work, and you're gonna do a tricep extension. So taking your weight, holding it behind your head with your hands nice and close together, elbows in tight by your ears. Lower it straight down and straight back up. If you're doing a seated version, same thing. For both versions, you're gonna hold your belly in nice and tight so you sit up super straight so you can focus the work just on your arms. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Try to keep your core nice and tight. If you find that you're rocking back to be able to raise the weight, it may be a little bit heavier than what's ideal for this exercise right now. Or it may just be adjusting to the kneeling position because that really helps force you to stabilize with your core instead of your legs. Halfway there. Slow and steady. Nice, even breaths. And time. Beautiful. Go ahead and set that weight to the side. Shake those arms out. That's one set done. 2 to go. Grab some water and then we'll start our second set. All right, bring it back in. From here, we're gonna grab our weights for both hands to go back into that deadlift, plus the hammer curl. And once again, pick your variation. Keep that back as flat as you can. And make sure that you're only going as far as you can comfortably go with no pain. It's okay to feel a little stretch through the back and the back of the legs, but you don't want to feel any sharp or stabbing pains. Now, before you start, assess where you are weight-wise. Did you need to go up or down to make anything harder or easier? And did you need to try a different variation if anything wasn't working for you? So pick how you want to approach it. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Beautiful. Flat back, bend the knees as much as you need to. You don't have to reach all the way to the floor. You just want to reach down enough that you're engaging the back and lower posterior muscles. "15 seconds to go. And time. All right, up next we have that alternating side lunge plus overhead press. So again, pick your variation. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Beautiful, nice and steady. Slow and even breathing. And remember, you can increase your upper body work by floating those dumbbells above your shoulders, not letting them rest. "15 seconds to go. And time. Nice. All right, from here, we move into that press out plus calf raise. So grab your weight, just one. Pick which grip is going to work best for you. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Beautiful. Make sure you keep a gentle bend in your elbows. Don't lock them out all the way. Always better to keep that little bend. Keeps your muscles more engaged and protects your joints. 20 seconds to go. Beautiful. You got it. Time. All right, go ahead and set that weight to the side. Get in position for your back flies, whether that's tabletop or edge of your seat. Grab the weight that's appropriate for that exercise. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Slow and steady. Lower with control. You're more than halfway there already. Almost done. You got this. Time. All right. From there, we're going to go back into that wood chop. So again, pick the variation and the weight that's right for you. 30 seconds on each side. Here we go. Halfway done with the first side. Again, slow and steady. Try to lower it with the same control and pacing as you raise it. And switch sides. Almost there, 5 more seconds. Time. All right, shake those arms out for a second, and then we'll finish off with that tricep extension. Remember, belly nice and tight. Try not to let yourself sway. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Fifteen seconds to go. Slow and steady. Keep those elbows in tight. And time. Whew. Shake those arms out. That's another set done. Grab some water, and then we have 1 set still to go. All right, bring it back in. Give those arms a couple more swings just to make sure you're ready for that last set. Once again, between sets is a great time to assess. Do you want to go up in weight? Do you want to go down in weight? Do you want to try a different variation on something? So pick what's going to work best for you. And we're back to that deadlift plus hammer curl. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Still focused on that nice flat back. Keeping your head, neck, and back in the straight line. So looking down as you lean forward. You're halfway there. Five more seconds. You got this. And time. All right, moving into that side lunge with overhead press. Again, 1 minute on the clock. And here we go. Nice, you got it. Remember, you control how deep you lunge. So only lunge to what's a good, safe depth for your body. You want to feel a little work, but you don't want to feel any pain in the knee, the hip, or the ankle. "20 seconds left. Almost there. And time. Shake those arms out and then get ready for the press out with the calf raise. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Remember to keep the soft bend in the elbow and squeeze the belly in tight for this one. Halfway done already. Looking good. Keep that slow, steady breathing. Nice, good job. All right, set that one down. If you're doing the floor version, go ahead and get set up for your tabletop back fly. We've got 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Still keeping that soft bend in the elbow for this one as well. Not locking out the joints. Keeping the head, neck, and back in a straight line so you're gazing down towards the floor. I'm breathing nice and steady with each movement. "15 seconds to go. Time. All right, set those to the side. Prepare for your wood chop. Remember, 30 seconds on each side. I'll tell you halfway through to switch. 1 minute. Here we go. Nice solid turns through your torso. Let your back and your side muscles do a lot of the work here. 5 seconds till we switch. And switch. Beautiful. 10 seconds to go. And time. Nice. All right, last one is that tricep extension. Go ahead and shake those arms out a little bit before we start it. Grab the weight. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Keep that core in tight. Imagine you're trying to suck your belly button in towards your spine. It'll help stabilize you. Nice. Good job keeping your elbows in close. More than halfway there. This is your last one. You've got it. Almost done. Finish it strong. And time. Nice. Set that weight to the side. Give those arms another shake and grab some water. You have done 3 full sets. We're ready for our final stretch. All right, bring it in for your final stretch. From here, take a nice deep breath. And as you do, bring your arms up overhead. Then you're just going to cross them through the middle and bring them down in a circle. Do that again with the other hand in front. I'm going to do one more to each side. And last one. Beautiful. From here, bring one arm up over for a nice side bend. And then come back to center. Go to the other side. Back to center. From here, if you're doing a seated stretch, you're going to take one foot and put it across the other. If you're doing a standing stretch, you can stretch some of the similar muscles by putting one foot in front of the other and then reaching down towards the floor, still adding that extra stretch through the hip flexor. If you're doing the seated stretch, of course, you just do the figure 4 and then lean forward. One more moment here, and then come up nice and slow. And then we're going to switch sides. So standing, put the other foot in front, turn it up on the blade edge just a little bit, and then you're going to reach down towards the floor. And you can kind of press into the side of that foot to aid that hip stretch a little bit. For the seated stretch, figure 4, and then just lean forward. And release, come up nice and slow. And then from here, we're going to put our left foot out, toes up, and then lean forward till you get a good stretch to the back of your leg. And then coming up nice and slow, switching sides. Lean forward again, get that nice stretch. And then come up nice and slow. And we're just going to finish off with a shoulder stretch. So bring one arm out, bring it across, squeeze it in, keeping your shoulder down away from your chin. And then if it feels good, turn and look over that hand. Coming back to center, release, and then go to the other side. And then again, only if it feels good, turn and look over that hand. And release. And you are done for the day. Thanks for joining me. Hope you got a good workout, and I will see you next week.